guys. Like, quantum leaping is not just stepping into your dream experiences, it's facing your fears constantly, and it's exposure therapy. Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is FAERIE, and today we are just going to be painting and talking. And today I will be painting, and I'm going to try and watercolor in this sketch I made. I've titled it The Woodland Walker, and she's like a trickster fae spirit and an oracle card design of a deck I'm working on. But yeah, I just wanted to paint and talk because I want to make videos not just about being, just about guidance, I guess. Like I'm only a few steps ahead of my target audience, if that makes sense. Like literally, like imagine I'm like holding your hand like arm's distance away. Like you're literally like a few months of consistent posting away from where I'm at. Like I'm still in the journey. I'm still in that weird liminal transitional space between manifestations, like where I'm shedding skins. I'm not necessarily my old self. I'm not necessarily in my old life, but I'm not fully embodied in the new version of myself or the new circumstances of my life. So I'm in like a weird transitional period, and there's a lot to it. And I kind of just want to talk about, like, I want to come on here each week and talk about like how I work through my blockages in real time, like blockages and things that have come up in real time, downloads I've been getting in real time, and yeah, just the reality like of the journey, not just guidance. Like I do have a lot of insight on mindset, but I also want to be real about the challenges, because yes, I think it's important, and I think this is something I was looking for, was someone who was like in a similar place as me, I guess, because that really does a lot. I feel like with a lot of the YouTubers that I'm watching, that I kind of see them as like mentor status, like they're where I want to be. It's like very like helpful and like beautiful to have something to work towards, but it's also nice to have like a peer, someone who's like walking with you. So yeah, that's the idea. Okay. And I just have like a lot of things I want to talk about, like just a lot of the energy work I've been doing and the quantum leaps I've been making and the downloads and insight and revelations I've been having. Yeah, just like things I feel like nobody talks about. Okay, so we're gonna see how this goes, because usually when I like paint, when I create, I am like locked in. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk and create at the same time, because usually I'm like, like hyper focused, trying to get what I want to get done. But we will see how this goes. Right now I am going to try and start with her skin, and we'll just go from there. Like I'm low-key just winging it like I usually do. Something I've been thinking about and realizing is like manifestation and quantum leaping is like actually challenging. Like it's actually almost spiritual warfare. I feel like what is mostly talked about in the like spiritual community, I guess, and is like positive thinking and affirmations and just embodying who you want to be, and quantum leaping means like you just align your habits, your thoughts, and actions with the version of yourself that has the things that you want, the version of yourself that lives in your dream reality. And yes, but can we talk about how challenging it is choosing, like how you have to become someone you've never seen before, especially if you're a generational curse breaker, especially if you're like the first creative or entrepreneur in your family. Like it's almost like you're being gaslit by your circumstances, and you have to battle with that every day, battle with that doubt every day when your physical hasn't caught up to your internal state. And that is a challenging part of the journey. Choosing to become someone you've never been before without seeing any proof, like literally being gaslit by your circumstances every day. And that is an art. That is definitely a skill. It's a practice. And sometimes it feels like a battle, like an actual war zone. As I said, spiritual warfare. And if you're healing from trauma too, it's like you're rewiring ways of thinking that you have been living in for years. Like, you know, if you're in your early 20s, like you've been living majority of your life, like 10 plus years, thinking like that. So like the neural pathways that are strong, and breaking those down is challenging, and building new habits like you're building from scratch is quite challenging. Like quantum leaping is not just about, you know, like making money or going viral or getting quick results. It's like a holistic thing. Like you're not just making moves towards like your career, like, or towards your channel or trying to get followers. Like it's like you're making changes towards who you are as a person holistically. Like your relationship with food, if that's not ideal, if that doesn't align with the version of you who has, you know, your dream life, like you need to fix that. I'm focusing on, like, for me personally, like my health, like how active I am, what my daily routines look like. As someone with ADHD, I used to just kind of like wing my day, like for real, and that didn't give me the progress that I wanted. So like really learning how to like structure my day is kind of crazy, right? But like building my and healing my relationship with like food, exercise, structure, all of that, like it's not just about the goal or the destination, it's about like the art of becoming and embodying, and that can be really challenging, especially like just looking at your circumstances every day and training yourself not to be fooled by like your eyes and your mind, you know, can be hard too. And so something that I'm working on, I feel like I've been doing really good with the mindset and like regulating my doubt, because doubt is not my baseline. Like I definitely do have like doubtful moments, even like, you know, day to day I might have a doubtful moment, but I always return to like my baseline of like my faith and just kind of trusting the vision that was, you know, planted in my mind. But I do have those moments where I'm like, girl, what am I doing with my life? Like my current entrepreneurial project is my ebook. I wrote like an ebook with like basically all of my mindset, metaphoric medicine, like all of the creative practices and mindset shifts for all of the doubts, like all the things that got me here to like this level of inner peace, being able to like be this authentic and, you know, unapologetic about my purpose, and just kind of move through it without being like swayed by fear or doubt, and move through it confidently. All of my mindset shifts and the artistic practices and everything, and trauma work, and how I blended that with creativity, how I literally put everything in that book. And part of me is like, did I just write this for nobody? Like, did I just write this for no reason? But I just gotta trust it. Because I felt doubt and like fear about every single one of my videos basically, and you know, look at where my channel has taken me. So I'm just gonna try and trust it, and trust that there are people out there who need it. And yeah, this journey is also a little bit isolating too, because I really am not surrounded by people who are going through this journey as well, especially choosing like entrepreneurship. And as I said, my family is like, they're very supportive, but you know, they're like, we don't know, like we're not familiar with this path, we believe in you, but they can't really give me any advice, and they don't always see the full vision. Like when I tell my mom about a digital product, she's like, digital product? Huh? So yeah, there's that. but I feel like I'm in a pretty good standing with my mindset. And my last barrier is financial. um like that's something that I've been working on. Is, I just started incorporating structure into my, routine, and healing my relationship with consistency and structure. um but yeah, I'm just working on like the mindset blocks and barriers, and making that first financial kind of like breakthrough. Like I made, this is the area that I'm currently transmuting right now. um I'm reading the book Happy Pocket Full of Money that Dochi recommended, and she did her thing with her quantum leap. So I'm reading it, and it's actually really helpful. And it feels like it's like bigger than money, because money is not just money. Like it's also spiritual. It reflects like your blockages around worth, trust, and identity. And yeah, I'm not afraid of hard work, but I also am working towards a life with freedom and time abundance. um Not just hustle, like so yeah, that's something I've been working on. I'm reading that book, and I feel like one of the blockages that is coming up for me, like I'm a very coy, very soft person, and I feel like when it comes to pricing my stuff, like I can't really be coy about it. Like I have to really understand like my comfort levels, like the effort and artistry and skill that I put into specifically like some of my Etsy products, and the hours I put in and what I spend on materials, and like really being comfortable and not lowballing myself, for one. And for two, with different things like my ebook and my writing, like understanding the value that I'm bringing, and just like, not being like, I made this book, and if you want you can buy it, and this is my price, and sorry, like, like I'm just very like coy, and like just I think that's something I'm healing with, like money, and like I'm afraid to ask too, and like to advocate, and like that's not gonna work. I just know that's not gonna work. Like I'm working towards building an authentic, grounded, confident way of marketing, just being confident like in the value that I am offering and that I'm bringing, and not feeling bad for asking, or not feeling bad for my price because it's not necessary. But yeah, that's a work in progress, and I'm grateful I have the privilege to just, I don't have big girl bills yet, so I can kind of take my time. And that's a huge privilege. But I'm also in like a living situation that is pretty mentally taxing. Of course, I'm grateful I have my own room, my own space, but I love my family, but I do not need to live with my family. Okay? And that's what I will say about that, because that's a whole separate video if y'all want to know about the dynamics that I'm dealing with. I feel like I spoke about it briefly, but they are just very much in that lack mindset programming, just looping through like their bad habits and like dealing with addiction, and just we're not on the same frequency. And I'm not judging them. I don't think I'm better than them. Like they've been through a lot, and I've been through a lot. Like if I've mentioned some of the things in my video, like my life has not been easy, their life has been even worse. So I'm not judging, but we're just not on the same frequency, and it can be hard just being exposed to, that constantly, and like always having to protect myself. Like I stay in my room most of the time because it's just a lot. And then, there's layers to it. So that has put a little bit of urgency in me, which also leads me to my next point, which is I took a solo trip last month in April, and I went to Bali for 10 days by myself, and it like quantum leapt me like so bad. Like it really stretched my rubber band. But quantum leaping is not just like positive thinking. It's like realizing your own limiting beliefs and habits that you didn't even know you had. Like every day I have a realization, and I'm like, oh, like I didn't even realize I was doing this. And when I was there and I was away from like, the challenges of my home and my living space, and I was in a completely new space. I was by myself most of the time, and for the last 2 days, like for a while it was like pretty hard, and I realized it's because I have a dysregulated nervous system. Like, you know, anxiety being somewhere unfamiliar. Unfamiliar does not equal unsafe. But if you're unsafe, you're not going to be able to rest, even in your dream life. You know what I'm saying? And that was a big realization I had. Is that I'm going to have to heal my nervous system if I even want to be able to enjoy my dream life. So I went there, and I'm like investigating going there for like an extended period of time because I loved it. And I feel like my story is definitely not finished there, because I didn't get to fully rest. But the last 2 days were so like beautiful. Like, I just got a little glimpse of like what life looks like when I'm not constantly on guard in my living space, and you know, when I don't have extroverts to rely on, when I have to make my own connections. And I just got a very short glimpse of my dream life, even like my dream like connection or like romantic experience. I got that too, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm working towards. Like, this isn't something that I just want to touch every once a year. You know what I'm saying? This is something I want to be my baseline. So that put some urgency in me, but it made me realize like I need to heal my nervous system, because if I constantly feel unsafe, like if I'm constantly in survival mode, it made me realize how much I was still in survival mode, even though I've healed a lot. So yeah, it just expanded me so much. I hope that made sense. My solo trips showed me what was possible for me. I had like my dream like connection romantic experience for 2 days. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing because he does have my channel, and I really hope he doesn't watch this. Anyways, it was like the setting was just so beautiful, and I just felt so like, I don't know, I felt so at home there, and everything was affordable, and the people, I just, you know, my story is definitely not finished there. Like, I feel like I want to give myself like at least a few months to where my nervous system can relax. I can expose myself. I can fully like, what does it look like when I fully get comfortable and can make connections on my own? Like, it was to a point where I didn't even feel comfortable leaving my villa, because I didn't know what was outside my villa. Like, I didn't even feel comfortable walking around. Like, it really revealed to me how unsafe I felt. And I just watched this video by someone, I think her name is Yolanda Rambles, and she was saying that your dream life is going to feel like a prison if you don't regulate your nervous system. Because right now my nervous system is used to bracing, it's used to smallness, and that's not where my dreams lie. And so that was my solo trip really quantum leapt me, and that made me realize like quantum leaping is not just stepping into your dream experiences, it's facing your fears constantly, and it's exposure therapy. And that's what I'm committing to myself to, constantly facing my fears, with my fears about visibility, because that's where my dreams lie. Posting, putting myself out there, performing. I just did a performance yesterday with my friend who invited me to perform with her, to a duet with her gig, and I've been avoiding the stage for like 8 months. But that's really what quantum leaping is it's not this cutesy, oh, you know, I'm doing my dream things. Taking aligned action to your dreams is going to feel scary. It's not just going to feel good. It's going to feel like really scary and anxiety provoking, putting yourself out there. But it's so rewarding. Like, my solo trip was so rewarding. Like, I have touched every aspect of my dream life. And I'm realizing that. And I'm realizing, like, this is not just something I want once a year. Like, how can this become my baseline? And I'm really working towards that every day, aligning my daily routine, my daily intentions, my thoughts with that every single day, and just taking it day by day. It's a process, it's a journey. And that's what I'm saying, is like, doubt and fear is really a part of the process. Like, I'm not trying to run from doubt. Like, I'm really learning how to ride the wave and move through it and not let it stop me or set the boundaries. And it's really crazy how like you will be rewarded when you take aligned action. Like, the first time I went to an open mic, my very first open mic, this was last August, I won $200. I was not expecting that at all. Like, you challenge yourself and you get rewarded. When I went to my solo trip, I was not expecting to find a place where I could see myself living. I was not expecting to have such a like a connection that I felt like it was straight out of like my daydreams, you know what I'm saying? I was not expecting to access that version of myself who felt rested, who felt like she was looking forward to every day, who just felt limitless and relaxed, you know? Like I finally stopped bracing just for like, even just for a few days, I stopped bracing. And it was like, whoa, like this is where I'm supposed to be. So it's really rewarding. Like I've been taking steps and the synchronicities have been crazy. I got like a DM from someone I went to middle school and high school with, who I haven't talked to in a long time. Like we're mutuals, but she works at a gallery, and she was like, I've been seeing your work and I think it's impressive, and I think you should apply to this show we're doing, and I'll let my boss know that you applied. Which is making me feel like I kind of got a guaranteed spot in the show. So I did that. And my friend, I set the intention that I wanted to get back on stage, because I've been realizing like, God, this is so hard to put into words. Like I've come such a long way with where I'm at mentally, but I still have a ways to go in ways that I didn't even realize I was doing. So I set the intention I want to perform more. Like I want that under my belt. I don't want to just perform, you know, once every summer at an open mic. Like, no, I am a performer. Like I have that in me, and I want that under my belt. Like I want my future girlfriend or boyfriend to be able to be like, yeah, my girlfriend is like a performer and like a creative entrepreneur and like a YouTuber. Like I'm claiming that. So anyway. Oh my god. I'm a fool. I don't even know what I was saying, y'all. Anyways, oh right, like you will get rewarded when you move through that fear. It shows you what is possible. So it felt like a test, because my brain tried to trick me out of doing that performance so bad, like just because it felt so unfamiliar and scary, and I've been avoiding the stage because performing is very vulnerable. And I was afraid, like I didn't feel ready enough. And it was like a quantum leap. It was like a test almost, like how long are you going to stop waiting to feel ready? Like how long are you going to keep waiting to feel ready? You're not going to feel confident in performing until you keep performing. And that's the thing that I had to remember, is like I have to get comfortable. Like it's not about waiting for the stage fright to go away, or you know, waiting for my vocals to be perfect on stage, or, you know, to stop having like vocal nerves. Like if you know, if you're a singer, like how your vocal ability isn't at its full because of nerves, and it's so irritating because it's like, y'all are not seeing my full potential. Like I can really blow, but it's just my shakiness. It's not allowing me to right now. And I almost talked myself out of it, but no, I went and I sung with my friend, and I didn't just sing one song like I thought I was going to do. We sung a few songs. We didn't even rehearse really before this. And I had to let go of control, let go of feeling ready enough. And it was kind of anxiety provoking, because she said she wanted to plug me and introduce me to the people who hired her, so that possibly I could be put on the roster for them. And I haven't really had my first paid gig like that yet. That is something I'm working towards, which kind of scares me, because I don't see myself as that type of person who someone would hire. But like I can actually sing like really good. Like just wait, I have some stuff coming with that. Like not just like, I've been taking lessons for years, 1. 2, God, this is gonna be a long video to edit. I've been taking lessons for years, but I'm working on not holding back out of fear of messing up on stage. And that is something that is like an underlying theme in my entire life. Holding back, making myself fall smaller out of fear of how I'm going to be received, out of fear of messing up, out of fear of being judged. If you relate to that, did you know that that's not normal? Did you know you're supposed to be in your body, not in your head most of the time? Because I just realized this, and I just experienced what that feels like on my trip, and I was like, oh my God. And I was talking to my friend Muwazu, who invited me to do this show with her. Oh, and I was saying, that I had nerves because this felt like an audition I wasn't ready for. And like I didn't feel like I'm not ready. Like, you know, I haven't performed enough. Like I don't feel like my vocals are there enough. And then I realized, oh, this is a trap. I'm never going to feel ready enough. My brain is going to keep telling me I'm not ready, and my brain is going to keep telling me I'm not good enough. The only way to feel good enough, to feel ready enough, is to keep doing it, and to feel comfortable messing up in front of a crowd, and to feel comfortable like, what's the worst that can happen? You know what I'm saying? These are strangers. These are strangers. And if I'm going to get good at performing, I need to perform, and I need to be okay with not being the best performer in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So I went and I did it, and I actually sung a few songs. And my first few songs, I was a little bit pitchy, and it took me and my friend Muwazu, we didn't rehearse, so we had to find our harmonies a little bit. But by the last few songs, we ate that, and I was really able to project and sing and do my runs the way that I know I can do. But I was a little disappointed in the first few songs because, nerves, and yeah. But that's the name of the game, like being comfortable, like not fully doing it on my just first try. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to do it a few times, and it's worth it. I'm going to keep performing and going on stage no matter how scary, because I can feel myself getting closer to that turning point where I'm like, oh, I really just hit all my runs. I just really showed my entire vocal capability on stage. And yeah, so there's that. I'm going back to a competitive open mic with prizes in 2 weeks. I think June 9th on a Monday. It's the same one I competed in. I love the crowd. It's for the stages for Black artists. And I'm gonna do it. I don't know what I'm singing yet, but I'm going to make this a practice, because not only just for me as a performer, but for me as a person, for me being able to let go, to surrender, to stop worrying about looking stupid, to stop assuming being received negatively. Because I also realized that, as what I was saying before I went back to my point, was that's an underlying theme in how I move through the world. I haven't told basically anyone about my YouTube channel, only a few select people. So if I told you about it, you're special. Because I don't know, I'm embarrassed. And I was talking to my extroverted friend Muwazu, and she was saying, I was like, how are you so open? She's just very social. Everywhere we go, we run into somebody she knows. And I'm just how do you just and she just goes up to people no fear. And I'm I was asking her, when you go up to people, are you worried about how you'll be received? And she's like, no, I low-key forget that I am being perceived until they bring it up. And I was like, are you kidding me? When I walk into a cafe, sometimes I used to get worried, or into the gym, I used to get worried and really make myself smaller because I didn't like feeling eyes on me. But it's that's not normal to constantly be placing yourself in other people's heads, trying to predict how they're going to receive you and trying to predict negative intent so that you can brace yourself for the predicted pain. That's not normal. And I feel that was the root of my social anxiety that's left too. I'm supposed to be in my body. When I walk into a cafe, I'm supposed to be thinking, ooh, what am I going to order? What am I really excited to drink right now? In my body, not, oh, who's going to be there? Who's going to look at me when I walk in? That's not normal, and I hadn't realized. So I'm really working away from that, and from just being able to just be and call in more positive experiences, because a lot of times people receive me very nicely. I don't know why I'm still projecting. I've had some bad experiences, yes, but I don't know why I'm still projecting that onto the future. And yeah, just understanding what that can unlock for me. I got a taste of it in Bali, and being I can bring that here, that type of being where I'm just in my body, in the present, not constantly trying to brace and assume other people's thoughts. And that's not my job to predict how other people perceive me. Did you know that it's not your job to predict how other people perceive you? Because I just discovered that it's just your job to just be. So that's something I'm working on, and that's a big one. That's going to unlock so much for me once I really feel comfortable just walking into a room, being, and not trying to shrink myself for people to look at me, because it's not working. Hiding does not work for me. Look at my hair. Do you see my hair? Every time I go out, someone says something about my hair. I dress like a fairy. I don't know how to dress normal. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just something hiding is not something I'm not supposed to fit in. I don't think that's what my journey is. And it used to make me really uncomfortable. I used to feel like something was wrong with me when I felt like people were looking at me. But no, Like, I'm supposed to own that. So I'm working on that, with performing and just, putting myself outside more, challenging myself, exposure therapy, working in that cafes as opposed to my room. I'm trying to build my confidence in being able to build connections, because usually I rely on extroverts or people coming up to me or whatever. I feel like when I go to Bali for a long time, I'm not going to be able to rely on someone to make connections. And so that's what I'm doing with the open mics, like just normalizing walking into a room without pressure, without a pressure to leave with a new number, just to be. And that, I feel like that energy is magnetic and calls in stuff, because that's how it's been happening with like the show, and with Muazu, like calling me to perform. Like, all I did was set the intention. I didn't go chasing it, and just allowing the universe to give you help, allowing yourself to receive without having to figure everything out on your own. Like, that's not how it's supposed to be too. So just knowing that I can walk into a space and just be me, and I don't have to stretch and contort myself to like make friends and make connections. Did you know that? Because I just discovered that myself. So that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to open mics. I'm going to try and go twice a month just by myself, which seems like really scary, just walking into a space by myself. Like, sometimes I feel weird. I'm like, everybody's talking and I'm just sitting here like, what do I do with my hands? Like, what do I do with my eyes? Where do I look? Like, how do I sit? And just embracing all that, putting myself in those situations and learning that it's okay. Because guess what? I went to that performance thing and it was fine. I did mess up at the first 2 songs. I didn't do as good as I wanted to do, and it was still fine. I still got experience, and I left inspired and motivated to keep working towards that moment where I know I did my thing and I showed my full capability on stage. So yeah, that was long-winded. We just talked through a lot of stuff. I barely painted because, as I said, I need to focus. But I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna come back and show you the finished piece. That's everything. That's where I'm at, the things I've been working through. And I just wanted to share this to show that I'm in the messy parts of the journey. The parts where I'm mid-leap of faith. You know what I'm saying? Like mid-flight, where I don't really know what direction I'm going in. Am I falling? Am I going upward? I'm not at the arrival point. I'm mid-coming. I'm showing up every day. I'm working through doubt every day. I'm being gaslit by my physical every day. I'm wondering if things are working every day. And still I return to faith. Because it's spiritual. Like, I don't know how to explain. Like, I just have that vision in my head. That's all. I'm going to finish painting this and I'll be back. Thank you so much for listening. Yeah, and I'm wondering, where are you at in your journey? Are you still at the point where you're working on taking that first step, where you're working on posting that first video, making that first art piece, just making that first decision to commit? Are you still working on your mindset? Are you still like living in your doubt and your lack, haven't been able to move past that yet, to fully commit and embody and live authentically? Are you still feeling like bound by fear and expectations? Because I feel you. That's why I wrote my book, because I wrote that book for people who are still there, and that's what I needed, just that one push, that one person to believe in me. So you can check out all my links below if that resonates with you at all. My ebook, and you can get a free guide if you struggle with comparison, and you can sign up. Everything is below if you want to keep in touch. That will be dropping this Friday. This video goes up Monday, so my book will be dropping on Friday. And if you want to be updated when it does, everything's below, as I said 700 times. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this and I will be back. Thank you so much for listening. I am back. I finished her. Well, she's not all the way finished. There's definitely some more details I want to add, but she's finished for the most part. And I quite like her. I think she's cool. But yeah, there's definitely a couple more details I want to add. Like, you can see, you know, some of the unfinished spots. But she is very close. And I've been working for several hours, so I'm done. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching.